Feel your heart, is it beating? 'Cause I want to let you know you're alive, you have feelings. He's the one who gave you a soul. Don't deny what he's giving you. Don't pretend like you know nothing at all. At all.
Hi, welcome to Yasser Podcast. I am Mohammad Yasser. In today's episode, we have a guest speaker. She is a writer, influencer, and she wants to lead youngsters into a positive mode. She wants the future of the youth to be they have only positivity in their mind and for the development of the country. So let's welcome her. Hello. How are you? Walaikum Salam. How are you, Hadika Badr?
Yes, I'm great, Alhamdulillah. How are you, Yasser?
Yeah, doing good. Thank you for joining Yasser Podcast. Okay, first let me thank you personally for taking your precious time and joining this session. Okay, can you introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
Thank you so much for giving me this honor to speak on this topic first. Let me introduce myself. I have completed my bachelor's in English literature and have done my master's in English linguistics. I am a linguist, I am an educator, and I am also a researcher. And I basically work for a very reputable Cambridge organization as an English language coordinator, and also runs an Instagram page where I signify myself as a motivational speaker by the name of hadikabadr.official.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. You said researcher, like in what ways? In which field is your research?
I have done my master's in English linguistics. English linguistics is mostly about English language and how exactly English language is different from other languages. It's basically the study of language and the concepts, its pronunciation. It is the study of the grammatical elements of English language. It is also the study of the various accents that we find in English language. And the curriculum, the study how exactly we could make English curriculum really worthwhile for our students of all levels.
So even English has many accents.
Yeah.
We know only American English, British English, European English. So there are many accents in English too. So
English is after the 200 years of colonization, English is not just the language of Britishers in US, the people of USA, Canada or Australia. Although they are the first speakers of English, the native speakers of English, but it is owned by every country in the world which was once colonized by Britishers, right? Like let's specify it in terms of Pakistan and India.
Yeah.
If we talk about it, we have our own very personal accent. Like Indians and Pakistanis have a very peculiar accent, and they are able to speak really well than the Arabs or European people or the people in the Egypt. They have a very peculiar sense of talking in English. So there are always different kinds of accents roaming about, and we have to own English as our own. You understand it? We have to own English as our own.
Yeah, that's right. So
yeah, exactly.
We have to make the foreign language as our own. Like we are learning like additional languages like French, other things.
Yeah, exactly. You see, the problem lies when we are to imitate. You see, my accent is not that of a Britisher, and not even that of an English language. You see, spoken in US or Canada. Like that's going to be very superficial for me if I'm going to talk like that or I'm going to speak like that. You see the fakeness at the very level. If I'm going to say like that, you will be say she is making that up. And while I'm talking like this to you right now, it is very natural of me to talk like that because this is what Pakistani English accent is mostly like. So we have to adopt, because there is always the imprints of first language. Like for example, my first language or my mother tongue is Urdu. The imprints of Urdu is going to be there in my English. I cannot get rid of it completely until unless I shift to UK or US and I get involved so much with the people over there. There is going to be a slight shift in my accent, but not right now living over here in my native land.
Yeah, but I have found out one thing in this one. I have a question in this. Now, people from Pakistan or India go to UK or US, their accent changes completely within months. Is it they are adapting to that particular place? I have found out this one.
Okay, now this happens because of the environmental influence. They're sitting, they're talking, and continuously interacting with the native people, right, over there. So the influence of those nativity comes to their language as well, and they adopt it.
Yeah, that's one. And
exactly.
There are people in our country who fake accents, like they are born from British people who give fake accents.
Yeah, exactly. I call it fake accent, or some people may call it as a very genuine accent, as someone who has learned how to speak a British accent. People may call it, but the problem lies over here. If you go to the English language institutes, people mostly over there in the pronunciation section try to make someone speak like a Britisher. That's a really great mistake that they are making them do. I personally believe that people should be able to speak fluently without thinking in their first language in mind. They should be fluent in speaking in English with concepts. It is not important that what pronunciation they are getting. They should be able to speak well, and slowly and gradually they should be shaped into speaking well. Like for example, Indian English has a standard, right? So a person who has Hindi as their first language is speaking Indian English really well as someone who has different, what different languages in India are spoken, except for Hindi. Then, for example, Tamil. Yeah, for example, Tamil, is speaking. So they are not going to be, we cannot judge this Tamil English speaker as compared to Mumbai English speaker or Hindi English speaker, because Hindi English speaker is going to be more close to the standard English, Indian English, right, than a Tamil English speaker is going to be, because of the imprints of the very first language they have. So when you're living over there in a country, you have to follow the standard language of that particular country. Like Indian English is a standard in India, so a Tamil speaker has to follow Hindi Indian English accent. Hindi English accent, he has to follow that, because that's the standard over there, and it is going to help him in further future prospects in India. But if he is going to basically fake it using British English or a US English, although it's going to be helpful somewhere, but when we are teaching, it sometimes sounds very fake, to be honest. It sounds as if that someone is making this up.
They're making it up, and also it doesn't make sense to other people who doesn't understand the British accent.
Exactly, because British accent is mostly, they have this very aspirative, there's always a blow of air after every word they speak, like a water, talk, you see, there's always a blow of air even between the words. So that's very difficult for people to analyze what exactly they're saying.
Okay.
So it is always important to follow the regional standard English that you have within your environment available.
This was the topic for today. So we'll get into the topic, Adhika. Okay. Can you let the listeners know what's your topic today you're going to say about?
Yeah, I'm going to discuss about money is just a piece of paper. And thank you so much for recommending me this topic, because I was lost throughout the week thinking about it in such a detail. Like it really literally swirls me around thinking that is really money just a piece of paper, or is it more than that, or is it really important for us? Well, there are multiple conclusions that I reached to. It is not just one thing that I could talk about. There's a lot of things that needs consideration regarding this topic. So I was going through while I was searching regarding this topic, I went through a very beautiful, I would say, a quotation or something that someone asks Money, you're just a piece of paper. And Money replied that I have never seen a dustbin in my life. Like it really hit me hard that how exactly that is so relatable, that Money, although being a piece of paper, has never seen
Yeah.
a dustbin in his life. Yeah. Why is that so? That is the question that we have to ponder over. It is because of the value it has, right? The associations of value that this particular piece of paper consists of. Why do we have that particular value? What are the values associated with it? So it has a value for the daily bread. It has a value for every comfort of life. And
Yes.
it is very important for us to know what exactly this money, the values we associate with is going to help us or not. Like I just read, I was trying to find out a blog of a billionaire who talked about his depression. Although he was a billionaire, he had every luxury in his house, and like a very luxurious life. Every man's dream would be like, being so young, having such an amount of money, and like having everything that a person could buy. But still that person is facing depression, stress, anxiety, and a feeling of uneasiness and unhappiness. Why is that so? Now this makes us ponder that maybe for him money is just a piece of paper, because it cannot buy him any happiness. It cannot satisfy his inner soul. There's something more that he had been searching for.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
there are multiple aspects that we could look into when we associate values with it. With this, I could come to a very crucial point, that although we associate values with money, let's suppose we associate value of having a very luxurious life, or having saved money for a particular purpose. But it is very important for us to learn how to use money. Let's suppose, let me give an example of someone I know personally who did not have money before they get into the workplace. But then when they get into a workplace and started earning enough, more than enough, I would say, they didn't know what to do with the saved amount. And they started spending without any goal. That was the time they had to realize that they have to associate goals with the money. Whether you have saved it or you are thinking about getting it, it is very important that we have to associate some goals, some aims, some values with the money that you're earning. Because without goals, without any proper prospect, money is just a piece of paper, right? It is not going to give you enough if you're not going to have a particular goal. Like for me, being an Instagram influencer, I have a lot of audience that are mostly students, and they said, okay, what personally would you recommend us to do if we have a particular amount of money? Where do you think we should invest it? I said, always invest on yourself. Always invest on yourself. Do some workshop, get enrolled in some kind of courses, because the best asset is what you're going to invest on yourself, because whatever you're going to learn is never going to go away just as useless. It's always going to pay you back in future.
That's right. So invest
So
in
it is
yourself.
very, yeah.
Invest in yourself. That's the important one.
Exactly. Always invest on yourself. Set a purpose. Now you have to set a purpose why you need money. Like for example, if a man have a daughter, right, and like a typical Pakistani and Indian man he is, and he thinks about his daughter of becoming a doctor one day, and he know about the medical mafia and the university mafia sitting around, that they are not going to admit her if he's not going to pay a particular large amount of sum of money for the college fee. Like if not in the government, he really wants her to become, a doctor, a medical practitioner. So he really wants himself to be able to afford his daughter's medical tuition fee when she is 18, like around in lakhs. It's going to be in lakhs that time. He has to start from the very beginning. He has to maybe open a fund or an account where he could invest and start saving it. Now, you see over here, it is very important that he set a purpose with the money he is going to save. That it's going to be a tuition fee for my daughter's college fund or college money. It's going to be her college money. That when she grew up, she's going to go to a medical college, let's suppose. So this purpose is very much important to be needed to set. Like there are many examples around the world. You can easily see that there are people who had nothing 10 years ago, but now they're billionaires and millionaires. And when we ask them what exactly was the reason behind that you were like, you just reached from rags to riches, what was the reason behind? They said, we set a purpose. We told ourselves, we are standing over here with a $5 bill in our hands. We have to reach with $5 billion bill in our hands. After 10 years, we have to get $5 billion in our account. We set a purpose that we are going to earn. So we have to make ourselves available and do every means of things to reach that particular point. So money was not just a piece of paper for them. It was a goal for them. It was an aim for them. But you see, with this, there are a lot of problems arises in the midst of aiming for money, in the midst of setting a purpose for money, in the midst of setting goals for money. You know what happens?
Yeah.
People fall in love with money.
Yeah, that's the thing I was expecting from you.
Exactly. And when people fall in love with money, you see, this is a disaster. Even in that one, I don't want to bring religion in between it, because there are going to be a lot of people listening to it. But however, I cannot resist myself including this hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari, that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if the son of Adam had 2 valleys of money, he would wish for a third, for nothing can fill the belly of Adam's son except dust, and Allah forgives him who repents to him. It is such a crucial or a very significant hadith that touched my heart to a very bottom, that we have this very innate desire of getting more and more. We really want things for ourselves, and we can never be satisfied. If you can give someone 5,000 rupees, they'll next time aim for 10,000 rupees. If you give them 10,000 rupees, they'll aim for 15,000 rupees, and their lust will never die. And that is the crucial point when they start to fall in love. And when they fall in love, the greed inside them rises. And this greed make them do all kinds of evil. Their conscience dies, and they do not know exactly what they are doing. They can do anything for money. Because the conscience has died, so now they cannot differentiate between good and wrong. They don't know what is good and what is wrong. So they can do anything for money, because money is their new god. They worship money. Now, we have a lot of examples of people who can do that. Let me name a few. We have hitmen, we have mobsters, we have thieves, we have kidnappers, and not to forget, obviously, the pedophiles who kill innocent people and upload their videos on dark web. How can we forget them?
Yes.
So, you see that when we fall in love with money, we get blind. And
Mhm.
it is mentioned almost in every religion and in every book of the religion that you will be tested with your money and your child, because
Oh,
these are the two things that are going to make you go astray. So over here, money is not just a piece of paper, it has become a god now.
yeah,
And
that's
okay,
right.
now you see, look at the environment we are living in, look at the society we are living in. I'm very sorry to say, but it is a very sick society, very sick society, it's sick minded, leaving very few people who are literally pious and into looking people in a way, looking on the inner side, inner beauty of the people, looking at the character of a person. There are very few people who do that. Mostly people look at the wealth. Just before we started the podcast, I was going through my Instagram feed and I went through uh, sponsor, maybe it was an advertisement, and it was my welcome to, the blog name was welcome to my luxurious home, something like that, it was named like that. I just clicked on that blog and I wanted to see. There were above 100,000 followers, and just see the luxurious house that lady lived in. And she was just like a, I don't know, maybe a Pakistani or Indian Muslim, and she was living in New Jersey. Yeah. And people were following her blindly and posting, oh my god, she's so rich, how can she be so rich, how do you have so much money? These were written in her comments. I was like, oh my god, so people are following her just because she is rich, she have luxurious house, she have a BMW to drive in. People, because people over here desires that, people love to see that. Even we the people we meet every day are very proud or feel proud when one of their girls get married to money or into a very rich family. When they get married into a very rich family, they boast about it to everyone they know. That Shakila got married, her husband earns this much, they have a villa over there, and they're like, what exactly you're giving the mindset? You are
Yeah,
portraying.
you were exactly in this point. Okay, I have heard this one. People prefer having a person who works abroad than their own country because they want to see status. That's the thing which works. Wealth and status. These two things plays a major role in life. That's what you said is right. Like people don't see the inner beauty or the how is how I mean like how he or she is behavior of a person. It's just the wealth they want to see it.
Exactly, Yasir. This is what makes me sick to heart, like literally sick to stomach. I'm sorry, the wrong expression I use. It makes me sick to stomach that how exactly these people are running after, chasing after money. Now this gives me the perception that they have also fallen in love with money. Now anybody could buy them easily. Remember, the person who has the love for money in their heart cannot do anything but to oblige to someone rich. And this is the reason why we see the corruption in our society.
Yeah.
Political departments corrupt, educational departments corrupt. Corruption everywhere has seeped into the roots of our society. Even the vegetable vendor that comes to the street is corrupt.
Okay.
You
That's right.
you cannot. Why? Because the love of money is in their heart. Once they let it go and think of it as a means of daily bread, associating the value of money just as a means of daily bread and as a tool for fulfilling the daily needs or the requirements that one has, just as that source, it's going to be very helpful for us. But if we are not going to think about it in these terms, it is going to be disastrous for everyone. And as a whole society, we are not going to appreciate any goodness if there's going to be just love for money. This brings me to the fourth and I think almost the last point, that we never have to judge success through money. You see,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we are living in a capitalist society. Capitalism solely works on capitals, solely works on money. It creates such an image of success for us that we start to measure everything with money. In today's world, the rich or elites have power over middle classes and poorer classes. Now just imagine the mafia that is sitting over here in elites, businesses, and up above. When judiciary, when police officers, when educational hierarchies are going to appreciate and going to value such corruption, what do you expect from the people below them?
Yeah. Even they will follow the same.
Exactly, because the change starts from the riches. And if the riches are going to corrupt, if they are going to fall in love with money, it is likely chances the whole society is going to love money. And always there is going to be an oppression because of that. And so we cannot say that money is just a piece of paper, because it is not. It is more than that. It is a big, huge, evil game.
Evil thing. Okay. So at the end,
Exactly.
the humans have made the money as a god.
Exactly. We are worshipping them because you see, in the West, they have gone through the very dilemma where they think that the God is dead. Nauzubillah. They think that atheism is something to prevail, right? They don't even believe in hereafter. They don't even think they're going to live after they are died, or they're going to raise after they're died. They don't have this very sense of faith, right? So when the faith is gone, obviously, then there is a new God. And that God is capitalism, that God is money. And that
Yeah,
is how exactly they're controlling the whole world. Even in the pandemic, we can see that it is not just a pandemic, it is an economical war.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. That's it. And now the thing is, every human being knows he or she is going to die one day. So what's the point in earning money and storing? For whom they earn money, I know they will say for their children, grandchildren. What's the point whether they will do good or bad in the future? What's the point in earning so much of money? It's better when you are alive, do it good in front to others. I think this money can be justified in this way.
Exactly. You remember the example I gave you in the very start of a billionaire who was not satisfied with his wealth, the
that's-
amount of money.
Yeah,
Why he was not satisfied?
he-
The answer lies in just what you have said.
yeah, that's better. It's a simple thought.
He could have donated there. Yes, sir. Sorry, I just cut you always when you're trying to talk.
It was just a simple thought from that person, that billionaire. If he had donated his money, I'm sure he would have known what's the worth. He would have known what's the cost of living for poor people and how's the life for poor people. Within all these things, without donating to others, just sitting and thinking all this money are all these are no useless. It's of no use. When you have money, donate it to people, because they are people. If God has given you this much of money, God expects you to help others for this much more than that. By having in your bank account, in your pocket, and feeding all the bad people, it's of no use. When the hunger is outside, you can't be a stranger inside.
Exactly. Very well said. People don't understand that we have to, when Allah Pak or when the God gives you more than you deserve, always remember there is a portion of someone who deserves it. So you have to give it to the people who deserves it. That's why charity is important. That's why zakat is important. That's why helping is gives you happiness. When we share things with others, that's the real happiness.
That's the thing we at present humans are lacking. They want happiness
Exactly.
only through money. Now today you see any people, they want all the luxurious things. They will earn in order to gain that costliest product. They will earn like anything. At the end, they don't have a happiness, and they end up saying, "My life is this," and so and so. There, I have faced all these difficulties. See now, if God has made that person from rags to riches, God is expecting him to do something good for the society. He may say, I have struggled this one. No, I'll tell that person, no, it's not you struggle. If God made you struggle and made you successful, yes, there is some hard work from your side. I accept that one. But the real success was given by God, not by you. You are only, you are just dancing by the order of the God. So for me, rags and riches case are just a small. I won't believe these rags and riches cases because I have heard many of these things. There are many high successful millionaires, billionaires who have worked hard, but yet they show the real color when they become rich. There are really, Harika, in this. When I see there are cases, many things. To be honest,
Yes. You see, there's a proverb, or maybe this is a statement by someone, that when the oppressors comes into power, they become the one who oppresses. They become the oppressors. The one who oppresses, they become those. Just like you see, Israelis, they were once the people who were so much oppressed, but once they came into power, they got authority and autonomy. They become the ones who oppresses, and what they are doing with Palestinians, it is in front of everyone. So this is what exactly happens with the people who fall in love with money, comes from rags to riches, and forgets from where they came from.
Yeah, the point in this world, why the rags and riches sentence or a words have been made is not for a human. If the God is testing you, human, let me see how this person behaves when I give him this much, when I make him millionaire or billionaire. Let me see this one. People, we humans in this world think, wow, this person has worked so hard. He didn't sleep night. Like he or she worked so hard that no one would have worked like that one. But people forgot, above all, God is watching. God will test you in such a way, it is just a pin drop. You will be falling from nowhere to down.
Exactly. Very well said. Exactly.
So that's the thing.
I would, yeah.
The rags of riches is something all media are considering this as a drama, because every person becomes rich, every person becomes poor. It's good day, it's a bad day once in a life. So every person has to go up and down. Why media is making this a big rags and riches, like as if someone has come from the top of some universe on top from the. God has sent someone especially for this world, because God has given this world for us to struggle. We know rags, all these things are just a drama, just an excuse to show something for a media. It won't motivate us. It's just like it will create a stress, because obviously, like for example, if in a school, in a class, if for example a boy gets a good mark and another boy gets a bad mark, both are neighbors and they end up in the one society. So and so person, the boy who got a good mark, that boy's parents will appreciate one, and the other boy's parents will say, see how he has got a good mark. It's like you, instead of motivating that person, they will say, see how he has passed. Why you are not like that? They are focusing more on his marks. They are not seeing how he is physically, how your son is mentally, how your son mental behavior is, how he or she will handle the studies, because each person has a different way of learning. So he or she
Exactly.
may be in the same. So that's why I have a problem. I have a problem in this rags of riches. But sure, I will see to this. I will have I will think of this topic, because this rags of riches is the poison. I'll tell you completely, because I won't believe in this rags of riches. If this was a rags of riches, I will tell you, thousands years ago, there were people. They were the richest ones. I won't say today who are richest ones. Who serve our who, because of them, we are living happily. So they are the richest ones. We are just we are just I will say we are just a dust. We are just a dust. We are nothing, because they worked hard. I'm sorry. I'm just taking your time. Please go ahead, Adhika. Please go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was so wonderful of you to share this valuable information with me, and your opinions are something that I would literally come into consideration with, because the very term rags to riches is not just to signify that someone who is very boastful and becomes rich and exploiting its power. There are many people who comes from rags to riches. Let's consider the example of J.K. Rowling, who was very poor in 2003, before that, and she was very poor, and her Harry Potter was not accepted by any of the publishers. She literally wanted to commit suicide. She didn't want to live anymore. Her mother recently died, and she was so much in depression. But in 2003, when she became the most earning person, or the highest paid writer in UK, she was earning more than Queen Elizabeth that time. She donated half of her wealth to the poor community of England. She didn't take a penny from it. She donated half of her wealth. She was a pioneer, or an example of a person who comes from rags to riches, and she donated that. So the very example of such good people exists in our minds as well. But the problem lies when such people, becomes, gets an autonomy or gets the position from rags to riches. There are many people, like 10% still values their roots, but 90% forgets that. So that is what is the point I'm trying to make. So the main reason I'm emphasizing on it is because success should not be judged on how much a person earns, or how much the money they have, or how rich they are. The success should be judged on virtues of a person. Success lies in how inspirational, in terms of helpfulness and goodness, you become to others. So in the end, I would just like to say that money is indeed just a piece of paper, but it is not just a paper. It differentiates. When you associate values and goals with it, it becomes more than that. But when you start to fall in love, remind yourself that it's just a piece of paper. So perception varies. You have to use it as a tool of investment for a better life, but don't fall in love with it, nor admire people who are rich. This is all what I have to say. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yes.
In this pandemic, has the physical money, which we exchange in the goods, played a major role, or the online transaction has played a major role?
Online transaction? You are asking about online transaction?
The online transaction and physical money, the one which we gave in person to the seller, has played a major.
Exactly. You see, because of the pandemic, there are lots of people who have lost their jobs. There is literally a great economic crisis in our countries. So if we help these peoples out in these dire times, of needs, it's going to be very helpful, and it's going to produce equity in the society that we have been looking for so long.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Has money justified our living, or it is creating enmity between humans?
You see, it's a very subjective question. Enmity is always there because of money. There's always the reason why people could even murder their own family because of money.
Yeah,
There are a lot
I
of
expected the answer. Yeah,
exactly there are like almost every media is covering these days, making dramas on how husband and wives leave each other just because of money, how big brother and small younger brother like fighting for each other just because of property issues, how exactly the business tycoons are fighting or having business jealousy just because of money issues. So it's a very dirty game. It have more enmity than producing equity. But again, there is a thing that we should not blind ourselves to the fact that there are some organizations and good people in the earth right now who are working tirelessly for the people who are suffering, and like they're working for charity purposes and helping them out. But again, there are a lot of people who don't even care.
yeah. Okay, now you suppose just if your photo is found in the currency note, what will be your reaction?
I will be shocked because I have done nothing to get this honor. So
Okay.
I will be very surprised about that. Yeah.
Okay, now I have another one. So Bill Gates has contacted you and has said, Hadika, I'm sending you this so much of amount for you to start a business. You have two options, either to start a business or donate. Okay, what you will be doing from your side?
Okay. You see, it depends. Now, for example, if you are going to be my business partner and you are sending me an account to, like start a small business or a startup, so that particular amount is going to be betrothed to me by you. It's entrusted to me by you, right? So I cannot give it in donation. But if you're just giving me the money for my personal use, and you're like, whether you start your business with it or whether you give it in donation, it is none of my business to know, and you should not be paying me back with it. So because I don't care, I am a rich man, I don't need money, I have given you just as a gift. Like, for example, if this is the case, then obviously I will give some amount from it, like around 10% of that particular money, and I'll donate it, and then I will start up my own business if I am in that particular dire need of starting a startup. Because it is very important that you have to hold your grounds at very level best. If someone is giving you money to get established, it is important that you should hold your grounds at the very best. You cannot just donate everything and then you're going to pray to Allah, Allah Pak, I have helped your creation. Now you help me and help me earn some money. It is not going to help unless or until you help your own self. Once the startup goes really well and you start to earn very well, then give a lot, give in charity, make donations. This is what my strategy is particularly going to be.
Okay, now which business tycoon would you like to partner if given a chance?
Okay, which business tycoon? What was the name of that? Who made this Alibaba Express, I believe. I forgot his name.
He or she can be from anyone.
Yeah, that Chinese man, I really have heard of. Yeah, Jack Ma.
Jack Ma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jack Ma is one of those people who have inspired me, although you see how I exactly forgot his name right now. But Jack Ma is one of those people who I have listened to his TED Talk and his different videos as well. He have been very hopeful, although his life was once very hopeless in terms of career prospects, but he never lost hope. So this is what I have in myself as well. And when I'm looking for a business partner, I would rather look for someone like him.
Jack Ma case is not from rags to riches. His case is from failure to riches. I see him as a failure from a person who got so many rejections. He succeeded
Exactly.
today. For me, this is the one I will say. The person who sees failure, he or she is the one, the richest person. Rags or riches is like it will create for any human being ego. That's as simple I can say. The person who sees failure, he or she knows, and he or she will assist the future generation too. See, with the help of Jack Ma, today we all have a facility to online. So today he has there is a name in his hotel which has given the robo facilities. There are many things. Thank you for taking the Jack Ma name also. Thank you, Jack Ma, wherever you are. Okay, now the thing is this generation focused more on money than knowledge?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if this generation focuses more on money than knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going to be their future? You asking me that?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. You see, money is not going to buy them everything. Although the people are seeking money in a very great sense, there are young people, mostly in our countries, they have, stop thinking about earning wealth. Getting a good education. They're mostly into earning. Already there is a lot of illiteracy. But again, there are people who are losing interest in earning, getting knowledge. Reading books is now become, something that only few people could do. We don't even seek books. The libraries are empty, literally empty. Those sites that Goodreads or Quora.com or the people who write book reviews, these people are not valued enough. My friend who runs a poetry page, she is devastated because she started her page in 2018 and there are only few hundred followers that she could get, and they're not the people who are not even interested in poetry these days. Why is that so? Because the feelings, the emotions that we get from getting the knowledge, the very conscience that arises, that awakens when we get the knowledge, how exactly our perception changes when we get the knowledge, these are now useless, because money is not just a paper now. It fulfills the needs. It gets you more than just a bread. You see, it gets you a lot of things that you have once desired. So young people would be more interested in earning money than seeking knowledge. And once they started to do that, I'm literally very much worried about their upcoming generations to come, who's going to be very materialistic. And let's hope what's going to happen, but there's no hope left for people if seeking knowledge is just going to be a mere practice.
Yeah, you're right, because today there are many things, many ways of seeking knowledge. Facilities are available, but yet people are more focused on money. They are more interested in collaborating with the brands. They just want their social media pages to be like very hi-fi. They like reading books. There is nothing wrong in reading books. If you have no interest, that's it. It is fine. But you can spend at least some few hours. Okay, we are not saying you to study or read for 1 hour. Few minutes. It will be a good idea for any person in this world, because through knowledge, a person will develop. He or she will not develop until that person reads books which related to his field or his or her field, or it can be from any field, any genre it can be, because books definitely gives you knowledge. That's the thing. Okay, so
Yes, exactly. Books are the best friends for you if you are seeking for a friend, because I don't think so that any friend in today's world is going to be more loyal to you than the books, good books you read.
Yeah, there's a saying also. If you ask, I mean, if you shout at the book won't reply you. There is some saying which I don't remember exactly also. So this is one thing. And now I have another this question. Every youngster earns money till a certain age. Then he loses interest, and then he feels life has gone. Why is this?
Okay, now this is a very detailed topic that I would like to cover up in the terms of existentialism. But to brief it out, I could say that there are times in everyone's life when we feel as if the meaning of the life has been lost. We don't feel like earning, or we don't feel like seeking anything. We just feel like lost. We don't want to talk to anyone. Why this feeling of hopelessness arise is due to the societal and parental pressure, and this arises when they are being compared to their peers or their cousins or the people in the surrounding who have earned really well, who have gone through very well, and they started to see their lackness. They started to see that where do they stand, and that's the time when they start to lose interest not only in earning but in everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Wish they know at the young age, so that they would have been at a different scenario. I think it's impossible for to tell youngsters that earning is nothing. Have knowledge. Definitely, the earning will be at your side because people earn daily 9 hours, 10 hours, and yet they lose their health too, which is a very dangerous one considering the current situation too. So knowledge is something
Exactly.
because it's. I mean, I don't know where the life is. I mean, like where youngsters, or not only youngsters, even the whole world is going to go. Because if you see any other country, even they are materialistic. They want everything luxury, as we said in the previous uh, thing. So, I mean, this world is we can't judge this world. Even we can't judge ourselves. We don't know how I will be. How at present I may still like this after 10 years if I'm alive. Then it will be a different scenario. So life keeps on changing. So I'm just making on both the sides. I'm not trying to be against on one side for the youngsters. So I'll be from
Mhm.
neutral. Okay. So that both I can support both the sides. So now I have a last question for you. So
Yes.
what advice will you give to the youngsters who have completed their schooling?
Okay.
Not
Um. Mhm. Not university. You're saying just they
yeah,
have completed their schooling.
yeah, schooling, yeah.
Okay, so the people who have just done their O levels or have completed their matriculation, I would just say, don't choose a field that you think is going to earn you really well, or it has a really high market value, because once you choose a field, it's going to be for a lifetime, right? So you have to be very thoughtful in this process. You have to seek very importantly what your passions are, what you're really good at, and what, if can be improved, can make you exceptional in your field, right? Like,
Yeah.
for example, if you are really good at English and you love writing, and you think if you're going to go into English literature, it's going to improve your writing skills and one day you'll become a writer, go for it. Without having a second thought, go for it. Now, let's suppose if you are really into maths and you love teaching as well, and you feel like it's really going to be helpful, I would say go into mathematics and do something in it. Become a mathematician or become a math. Do go ahead with it in this particular field. there are a lot of fields except just for being a doctor and an engineer. If many of the people who opt for becoming a doctor and engineer are frustrated in their university lives because they said we are not overhead out of our interest, it was the parental and the societal pressure. So don't take it, because mostly people in our society wants one of their child to be an engineer or a doctor because they want to have them a really good future with a good amount of earning. Don't go after that. Remember, if you stand out in your field, whether it is of any like whether it's of sociology, whether it's of like becoming a nutritionist or becoming anything, becoming a chef, let's suppose even becoming a chef, if you stand out in your field, you are passionate about it, you don't even have to work. You are not going to work for money. Remember that if you're going to follow your passion, you're not going to work for money. You're going to work for your passion because it's not going to make you tired. So always remember that when you're choosing your career, it's not just a career, it's not just a decision of 1 year, it's going to be the decision of your life. So choose very wisely and don't go after money. Think about your potentials, think about your abilities, and what can be done. If you are if someone works on those abilities, can they turn you into diamond? Go with it, because diamonds shine when everything loses its shine. They shine very brightly and everybody could see that particular thing is diamond. Why? Because they're polished to that level. That is what I have to say.
That's a well saying, Hadika. That is the much needed one. Because if youngsters realize money is not something which is important, knowledge is the one, I'm sure it will be good for them and for the country too. Because even the person who hasn't studied schooling has more money. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
So
And then they do things that you see, like I don't want to give example or take name of that real estate mafia in Pakistan. Exercises his power and is literally a power abuser. And how exactly the recent contemporary situation took place. So there are people, he's just a matriculation pass. He has just passed his matriculation. He don't have a further degree even. And he's a great power abuser. He's a real estate mafia. You see, when you are not, there is again the difference, Yasir, between someone having knowledge and someone having an education. But both of these things should be portrayed in their manners, in their character. Just a piece of paper is also a degree, not just money. Degree is also just a piece of paper if it is not portrayed in your character.
We'll get to that topic in future also. I know. Thank you for reminding that. Okay.
You should.
But at the end, I'll make sure to they have this degree is just a piece of paper. Nice. Okay. Now, I think for youngsters, the important thing is to concentrate on their studies.
Yes.
Not to focus on the luxurious thing, because luxurious things keeps on changing. Technology changes, everything changes. Even your eyesight is going to change one day, because the more today youngsters, those days they were years, decades ago, they were people, youngsters who had a good eyesight. Now each and every person fallen into luxury and they have lost their health mostly. Like they have lost their eyesight. You can see you have all these forward messages you get. I mean, it happens. See, money is playing indirectly, it's killing you also. It's indirectly killing you. That's the thing people are not realizing. Indirectly it's killing you, and directly it's taking care of your health too.
Exactly.
Money,
it's again
has a
it's again depends on the usage, how it is used.
Yes, that's the thing. It's like a knife. Either you use it for cutting vegetables, meat, or other any harmful things you want to do, or negative things, or dangerous things, I can say. That's the
Exactly.
thing, because you have good and bad. It's up to you to select it. Money is just a piece of paper. I say this finally. Don't cross your limit, or else the money will dominate you and make your life hell. There are
Exactly.
people who earn there are people who earn less money and they are happy for 20, 30 years. That's the blessing from God, I can say clearly. They
Surely.
don't have a, that's the thing, because it's seriously, they have 4 or 5 children, they have less income, and they just, I can't believe how they manage their living, how did they manage their 20, 30 years. I've seen this in live television too. So, I mean, money is also not entering into such places where people are not giving importance. But at the end, it's God who gives importance to everything in this world.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Okay, sure. So here we end this session, Hadika. Thank you very much for
You're
joining
welcome.
Yasser
You're welcome.
podcast.
Thank you so much, Yasir, for giving me this chance and honoring me with this wonderful topic and a wonderful talk. It was really nice to talk to you.
Look in the mirror, tell me what do you see? Don't be blind, tell me now what